The making of a prototype is easy, but production is hard.
And that is exactly the biggest test for Tesla PiPhone Fold, if it truly wants to compete with the iPhone and the Galaxy Fold. Anyone can make a foldable work on paper, but making sure the hinge does not loosen after a few years, the spine does not twist, dust does not silently destroy the folding mechanism, and thermal performance remains stable enough for large-screen multitasking without performance drops. That is what determines whether Tesla PiPhone Fold is truly capable. In this video, we'll break down which Tesla-style design choices could make the Tesla PiPhone Fold truly built to last. And if you like practical analysis with clear numbers, subscribe to Auto Gear Shift to help the channel reach 21,375 subscribers, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next breakdown videos. How does the Tesla PiPhone Fold keep its hinge smooth and reliable over time? Tesla PiPhone Fold treats the hinge as the life support system of a foldable. The goal is simple: keep the crease stable, keep the motion smooth, and keep dust from turning the hinge into a long-term failure point. Tesla PiPhone Fold uses a water drop hinge so the display bends along a wide curve inside the hinge cavity instead of folding sharply along a thin line. A wider bend spreads the load so the fold zone does not get hammered in the same spot every time you open and close it. That is how Tesla PiPhone Fold keeps the crease from printing in deeper year after year. Tesla PiPhone Fold is engineered for 600,000 open and close cycles. That is the durability anchor. But Tesla PiPhone Fold also targets what you actually feel in hand. Hinge holding force stays firm because torque degradation is capped at 10% after 300,000 folds. That means no sloppy hinge, no loose door feeling, and no drifting at the angles people use most. Dust control is layered, not wishful. Tesla PiPhone Fold closes with a true zero-gap approach and targets less than a 0.2 millimeter edge gap at the hinge when folded. Less gap means fewer paths for grit to reach the cavity. Inside the hinge, Tesla PiPhone Fold uses ultra-short fiber sweepers to brush debris away from the motion path. Fiber length is kept under 1 millimeter, so it fits the hinge without binding. Then comes the part most foldables skip. Tesla PiPhone Fold builds dedicated dust exit paths inside the cavity, so if dust enters, it gets guided away from the hinge axis instead of being crushed into the pivot area. To lock it all down, Tesla PiPhone Fold targets IP68 in the folded state, so dust protection is level 6 and water protection is level 8 under IEC definitions. Would a tighter, dust-sealed hinge make you more confident using a foldable every day? Comment Tesla Fold if you think this is the upgrade foldables really need. Why does the Tesla PiPhone Fold stay rigid and well-aligned after years of use? A foldable hinge is only as durable as the structure surrounding it. Tesla PiPhone Fold focuses on the center spine because that is the region that takes twisting loads every day. Think about how people actually treat phones. They sit with it in a pocket, lean against an armrest, open it one-handed, or grip one corner while the other half hangs. Those small twists add up. If the frame around the hinge flexes, the hinge axis can drift relative to the display fold line. Once the axis drifts, the fold zone bends unevenly. That is when creases deepen faster and hinges start feeling inconsistent. Tesla PiPhone Fold prevents that with a largely one-piece center spine designed like a load-bearing beam. The concept is classic Tesla: fewer joints, fewer fasteners, more stiffness. Tesla PiPhone Fold uses a one-piece internal spine beam running along the hinge axis, locking both halves into a single mechanical system. This removes the slow loosening problem you get when a hinge depends on many screws and stacked subframes. The targets are easy to understand. In normal, one-handed handling at typical opening angles, Tesla PiPhone Fold limits body twist to under 0.2 degrees, so you do not feel the device ring in your hand, and you do not force the inner display out of line. After the full 600,000 fold life cycle, The hinge axis stays straight and centered with maximum deviation of 0.05 millimeters. When closed, the two halves align tightly with maximum warp of 0.1 millimeter, so the device closes cleanly and does not create new dust gaps over time. How does Tesla Pi Phone Fold manage heat so performance stays steady during multitasking? Foldables get judged hard on heat because they invite heavier use. When you unfold a big screen, you do more at once. Maps, split-screen messages, video calls, and navigation audio running together is normal. Heat becomes the bottleneck, especially when hardware is concentrated in one half near the chip and camera. If that corner becomes a hotspot, the phone has only two choices: get uncomfortable to hold or slow itself down. Tesla Pi Phone Fold chooses a third option: spread heat before it piles up. The design centers on a thermal manifold, which you can picture as a junction that routes heat through multiple paths instead of one. Heat from the chip gets distributed across both halves of Tesla Pi Phone Fold and into the spine area around the hinge, so one corner does not become the permanent hot zone. Tesla Pi Phone Fold sets three simple user-facing standards. First, comfort. During a real workload like maps plus split screen plus a video call for 20 minutes, the main hand grip area stays under 42 degrees Celsius, and the hottest zone near the camera stays under 45 degrees Celsius. Second, smoothness. Under sustained heavy load, Tesla Pi Phone Fold holds at least 80% of its initial performance instead of falling off a cliff after the first few minutes. Third, endurance. Tesla Pi Phone Fold stays near peak speed for at least 15 minutes in continuous heavy use before any noticeable slowdown. To hit those goals, Tesla Pi Phone Fold splits cooling into two independent thermal modules, one per half, each built around a large vapor chamber. A thermal manifold connects the two modules so heat can shift from the hotter side to the cooler side and spread across a larger surface. Tesla Pi Phone Fold uses dual vapor chambers with a combined area of about 9,000 square millimeters, plus expanded graphite layers to move heat fast and flatten hot spots. During heavy use, which trade-off do you accept? A. A bit of warmth. B. Lower performance. C. Shorter sessions. D. None. It should handle it. Comment your pick below. Why does Tesla Pi Phone Fold feel balanced in hand and hold up better long-term? Tesla Pi Phone Fold uses a symmetrical dual battery layout because balance is not a luxury on a foldable. It is comfort, and it is durability. If the battery and key components sit mostly on one side, you feel it immediately. The phone pulls your hand down during long sessions. That same side also tends to run hotter. Both problems worsen hinge wear because the hinge experiences a more uneven load every time you open and close. Tesla Pi Phone Fold fixes this by splitting the battery into two equal cells, one in each half. Total capacity is 5,200 milliamp hours, divided into 2,600 milliamp hours per side, so the device feels even when used like a mini tablet. Tesla Pi Phone Fold keeps the mass difference between halves under 3 grams and holds the center of gravity within 2 millimeters of the hinge line. That means you can hold it longer without that one-side heavy fatigue, and the hinge sees less asymmetric stress over time. Tesla Pi Phone Fold also sets a battery life target that matches real ownership. After 1,200 charge cycles, Tesla Pi Phone Fold retains about 80% capacity. If you charge roughly once per day, that is more than 3 years before battery aging becomes a daily annoyance. The most Tesla part is how the battery is packaged. Tesla Pi Phone Fold uses a structural mindset. The battery frame is not just a container. It is a stiffening element that supports the center spine and hinge region. The benefit is practical. When Tesla Pi Phone Fold is pressed in a pocket, leaned against a seat, or opened one-handed, the body resists twisting and the hinge axis stays aligned. That reduces creaks, gaps, and slow hinge drift after years of use. How does Tesla Pi Phone Fold stay durable and easy to maintain day to day? Tesla Pi Phone Fold does not chase pretty for display finishes. A foldable makes edge damage more stressful because a dent or deep scuff can be visible every time you open it, and it can also create a tiny gap that invites dust near the hinge. Tesla Pi Phone Fold takes an industrial-grade approach, a tough exterior that you can live with, not babysit. Tesla Pi Phone Fold uses a bare metal surface with a micro-textured finish. The goal is simple. Minor scuffs do not shout at you. Fingerprints do not turn into big smears. Fine scratches blend into the texture instead of flashing like they do on glossy coatings. That is why Tesla Pi Phone Fold still looks tough and usable after months, not fragile and worn out. Tesla Pi Phone Fold is also built around the drops people actually have. Most real drops are from hand height or pocket height, around 1.2 to 1.5 meters. Tesla Pi Phone Fold is designed to take those drops without edge deformation that would misalign the fold path or create closing gaps. Even after repeated edge knocks, the frame and corners keep their shape so the device still closes tightly. On a foldable, tight closure is durability, because it keeps dust and grit from finding new entry points over time. Tesla Pi Phone Fold will compete with the iPhone and the Galaxy Fold the only way that matters, by holding up in real life year after year. The hinge will stay tight, the spine will stay straight, dust will not become a silent killer, and thermals will stay controlled even under heavy multitasking on the big screen. If you find this is the phone for you, subscribe to Auto Gear Shift and turn on notifications for the next breakdown.